Good evening, everyone, and welcome to MJ Live. We are going to get started in just about 3 minutes. So we are just 1 minute early. We're going to have a quick countdown to give you guys a chance to come on in. We have our guest ready and we are ready to go. So don't go too far. Just go ahead and share for us so that we can get everybody in here to enjoy an amazing show tonight. Don't go too far. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to MJ Live. It's another week. It's Thursday. That means it's MJ Day. Well, today I have a special guest, and I'm going to bring her up right now. Welcome, Marsha.
Hi, welcome. Thank you. It's nice to be here.
How are you? Doing good?
Doing great, yes.
Absolutely. Awesome. All right, we're going to get straight into it. We're not going to waste any time right now. Want people to get to know who you are. So I want to let people know a little bit about your bio, but I'm going to just put it into small chunks. After every 15 minutes or so, we'll let people know a little bit more about you. All right, come on in, guys. Come on in and just go ahead and share as you come in. So, Marsha Sims is a professional organizer with over 25 years of experience in the organizing industry. She is the founder and president of Sort It Out Inc., the leading professional organizing company in South Florida, and is recognized as one of the top professional organizers in the country. She has authored 5 popular books on organizing, including the best selling Organizing Your Day, Smart Office Organizing, 5 Days to a Clutter Free House, and 10 time management choices available at select kiosks around the country. So that's a brief introduction, but we're going to get more into you as we go along. Welcome, Janet, but also welcome, Marsha Sims, and thanks again for being here. So today, we'd like to talk about the secrets of keeping an organized space, whether it's home, a car, a garage, whatever the space is. So, could you, in your words, give a little bit of introduction to yourself and then jump right in?
Wow. Okay. Well, I started my organizing career needing to learn how to get organized. I was my nightmare client.
Ah,
And I was always reading books and trying to learn how to get organized. How do you do this stuff? How do you know where everything goes? How do you know how to file the papers and find them again? Because it was
mm,
the finding them again thing that was that was the problem. I wanted to know how to, like, where do all the recipes go, even if you don't cook? But I would get hungry and I'd look through a magazine and I'd see these delicious looking things and I wanted to, preserve them. All that kind of stuff. Like I needed to know. So organizing fascinated me because I was always learning for me as
uh-huh.
well as for my clients.
Right, right. So is it safe to say back then, before you started the business, you were disorganized and you had to get yourself organized. And once you got organized, you said, you know what? I bet you there's other people that had the same problem as me.
I wish it had been that smoothly of a transition, right? It was that I got myself organized on the fly as I was helping other people. Here's
Oh,
what here's what happened. I used to own a real estate company in
uh-huh.
Northwest Dade during right before Hurricane Andrew. When
Okay.
Hurricane Andrew hit in Miami, we lost our inventory. Buyers didn't want to buy, couldn't buy, nothing could close because insurance companies stopped writing insurance.
Uh-huh.
Sellers didn't want to try to sell their houses through a broker because they could forget about us and just rent their houses to people who had lost their homes. So it was just a crazy, crazy time. And I had 3 kids with a food habit.
Oh,
I had to figure out something quickly. So a friend of mine came to my office. She said, "There's a woman in town. Her name is Mother Kelly. She's from Hawaii and she counsels displaced executives. And you should go see her."
oh,
And I went to, I don't know where she is. I don't know. I don't know. I don't, that's all I know about everything I just told you is
uh-huh.
everything I know. And I went to see Mother Kelly. And Mother Kelly had papers on her desk stacked up to forever. As a matter of fact, when she sat behind her desk,
You
my
couldn't see her.
literally.
Hilarious.
But I didn't think anything of it back then. I didn't know about organizing or any of
Uh-huh.
that. And she started. She said, "I know what you should do." Well, what happened was I could afford to talk to Mother Kelly for 1 hour. That was all I
Oh,
could afford
yeah.
back then. And so I told Mother Kelly my story as fast as I could. I told her everything I'd ever done in my life, and I had to tell her really, really fast because in my mind I had done a lot of a lot of things, and she needed to be able to hear my story and come up with a perfect thing for me. And when I told her all of that, I stopped. I was done. I told her everything,
Uh-huh.
and she just looked at me and she said, "I know what you should do." And then she went behind that desk with all those papers and she pulled out the application for the National Association of Professional Organizers.
Oh,
She said, "You should do this. If you do this, you will be really successful." And
Wow.
I took the application and I went to my car and I cried
Oh.
because I didn't know how to organize anything. And I felt like I had just paid for useless, worthless advice in something in my area of weakness.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, okay, what do I do with this? What do I do? And I thought, okay, when life gives you lemons, you
Yes.
make lemonade,
Lemonade.
right? And I thought, what am I going to do with this bad information?
Yeah.
I decided I will join this worthless, useless organization and I'll make friends and I'll get them to tell me how to get organized,
Oh.
right? So
Yeah.
I took remember the old fashioned composition books, the black and white ones that are bound?
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to use those in my real estate company. So I had one. So I took it with me and I wrote in there all of my questions.
Okay.
Like, what do you do with all the recipes, even if you're not going to cook?
Uh-huh.
And where do all the toys go? Like, I had 3 kids and
Yes.
they had
Yes.
a massive amount of toys. I didn't know where my house was. Toys were everywhere. I didn't know where all that stuff went.
Right. Right.
Like, how do I find all the questions I had? And I listed them down. And I would say, I would go to the break room and I would corner some poor innocent organizer. And I would say, I have questions. Um, I have a client and here's her question. I was my client.
Yeah.
What do you do about this? Or
Uh-huh.
what's your idea about? And I got all these suggestions and they were so nice.
Oh.
They were really nice. And I came back to Miami and I was ready to get organized once and for all again. Because isn't that what we do? We get organized,
Yes.
things go back, go
Yes.
back messy, and then we get organized again. And I was doing that, I'd clean it up,
Uh-huh.
it would grow back. But this time I had all the gold from the mouths
Yeah.
of these professionals, right?
Uh-huh.
And there was one thing I didn't know. I didn't know that NAPO was going to give people my name. NAPO, National Association of Professional Organizers.
Oh.
And they were giving my name, and people would call me and they'd say, I'm looking to hire a professional organizer. And I would get them off the phone. I didn't know how to organize anything. And this one lady kept calling, and she would call me back. Hi, can you help me? Or, oh, please don't hang up. Because we had this dance, right? She knew she'd call like, so she called me. I couldn't get her off the phone. And I
Uh-huh.
started thinking, like while she was talking, I'm thinking, how am I going to tell her? I can't help her. It's not about her.
Mm-hmm.
I said, if I don't help her, she'll think that I'm rejecting her. It's not
Uh-huh.
about her. It's about me.
Yeah.
And finally, I heard the dreaded words, when can you come? I promise I didn't say anything to make that lady want me to go. Not because I didn't know. I didn't want to go, right? And then I thought, well, I don't want to hurt her feelings. I don't want her to feel that I'm rejecting her.
Uh-huh.
So I decided to just make up a price, and I made up a really low price.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yes.
And when I got to her house, she opened the door and tears came to my
Oh.
eyes.
Oh. Wow.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
I had to step over stuff to get in.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
was nowhere to sit. There was nowhere to eat. She had medicine in the oven because she was afraid she'd lose it. She had
Wow.
it was just it looked like a couple of people ran in, threw everything around, and then
Uh-huh.
ran out. Like
Uh-huh.
it was
Uh-huh.
just a disaster.
Wow.
And I don't know why I knew what to do. But it was like it transcended everything. And I had to help. I had to help her.
Yes.
I
Yes.
had
Yes.
to.
Yes. Yes.
It became a human thing. She needed me and I was there. And so I started doing all that stuff my mother used to tell me when I was growing up that I ignored. Clean your room, clean up
Uh-huh.
this,
Uh-huh.
all
Uh-huh.
that. I never listened to that stuff. But, but on that day,
Yeah.
it just came back. And on that day, I just kind of knew what to do. And
Wow.
when I got ready to leave, she cried and I cried. And
Oh,
I knew that there was
that was your calling.
Yeah,
That's an amazing story of how you got started. Somebody in the chat room said desperation. It was desperation that
yes,
woman had. Wow.
yes, because it transcended work. And I knew it wasn't. I learned that day that organizing is not about the stuff. It's
Yes.
about the people.
All right.
And
Let's welcome a few more people to the chat. Welcome Marcia Demers, welcome Janet Blackburn, welcome Tina Azell and Gary Dixon, and everybody else that's in there. If you're in and you'd like us to acknowledge you, just please just drop us a quick message. We're talking with Marsha Sims. She is a professional organizer with over 25 years of experience in the organizing industry. She's written books. She has programs. We're going to talk about all of that, but we're just giving you sort of the background. We're laying the foundation to where and how Marsha got started. So that was a pretty desperate situation where somebody needed your help. You also were pretty desperate at the time for when you spoke to somebody initially and told you where to go to get help.
right.
All of the advice that people were giving you at the organization, were you able to use that with this lady who was really desperate?
To tell you the truth, I don't know where the answers came from for this lady.
Mm.
I credit my mom, really,
Okay.
because it was like the answers were inside of my heart, for her. It wasn't in my head because I
Okay.
didn't know.
Uh-huh.
It was just in my heart. Like, I knew we had to clean up things off the floor because how could she walk?
Right.
I knew we had to move things off the table because there was nowhere to eat.
Uh-huh.
So, some of it just, she was, she needed my help and I was there.
Yeah, yeah. Did it help you at all as you were helping her? Because at this point, were you already organized, or were you still learning how to organize your own self?
No, I didn't know. I
Yeah.
still needed my own help. I remember
Right.
one time I was with, but I kept reading books and I was always fascinated with the subject. And one day I was with a client, far, far past this lady, but I was with a client and she asked me something and the answer popped out of my mouth. And I remember I thought, that's to myself, I said, that sounds really good. When I get home, I'm going to try that. And so things like that would happen. Or I was really able to help people and I would leave their house and I felt exhilarated and I would
Oh,
use that energy when
yes.
I got home to clean
Wow.
up my own house.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
I started following my own rules.
Yeah.
I would tell people things like, just clear off a surface and you'll feel better. And
Hmm.
I would come home and I would clear off a
Do this.
surface and I would feel better. And
Wow.
like my car was a disaster. I mean, my kids would eat in there and they'd leave their papers but because I was going to clients, I didn't want to lose credibility.
Yeah.
So I learned how to clean out my car. So I'll tell your audience this. If your car is a disaster, here's the trick. When you get out of your car, turn around and look at it.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
Uh-huh.
And what you see that's out of place, pick it up, move it, and then your car won't be a mess. And every time you get out of it, turn around and look at it,
And look.
and it becomes a habit.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I'll tell you the most important thing I learned. I learned that clutter is simply postponed decisions. That
Postpone decisions. Okay.
ultimately, that's what clutter is. If you have papers and you don't know where they belong, those are just decisions you haven't made
Mm.
about what you want to call them
Hmm. Hmm.
or where you want to find them again. I learned that you want to put things at or near the point where they're going to be used.
Mm-hmm.
I sit here at my desk. I have a tray of pens and things like that here because that's where I use them. I don't
Mm.
need pens strewn all over my house. I learned things like if you just don't know what to do with something, then you don't have to make the decision right now. The
Mm. Mm.
decisions are yes, no, and maybe. Yes, I definitely want it and I know where it goes. No, I don't want it and I'm sure it can leave. And then maybe. I don't know if I want it or not. I need to give it more thought. You know,
Okay.
sometimes we're under so much stress and pressure because we feel like we have to make a decision right now, and we don't.
Thank you so much for that. We got so much more to go through. Welcome everybody to MJ Live. We have a special guest today, Marsha Sims. Let me tell you a little bit more about her. After 20 years of hands-on organizing, Marsha has moved her business online and has over 200 regular participants around the world in her programs, which include a very affordable monthly program to help people get organized, a weekly program with hands on help, guaranteed success, and a professional organizer certification course that trains and certifies people who want to become professional organizers. In addition, she offers a free daily 5-minute organizing challenge to anyone interested in learning the skill of organizing. So much goodness. Folks, if you're listening and you may need the help of an organizer, you may look around your room right now and see that, you know what, this area is a little cluttered, or this entire room needs organizing and you've been putting it off for years. This is the lady that may be able to help you. So do reach out. I'm going to just throw her contact information up on the screen right now. You can reach her at Sort It Out. She's the professional organizing service. Her email is marshasims at sortitout.net. Website sortitout.net. Telephone number 305-467-8564. The programs are SOS Organizing Program, and she has the fast filing system. All amazing things. Please go ahead and share this information, share this video, because I know there are people that need organizing help. Marsha Sims, it's a pleasure having you on the show. Can you share with us, let's say, 5 really good tips that people can use today or tomorrow to start getting themselves organized and ultimately feel better about themselves, feel better about, the peace that it brings?
Well, 5 really good things you can do. Number 1, organizing is about surfaces. You want to make sure your surfaces are clear. I came up with this as a theory. I was in the grocery store line, in the impulse line, where they have all these magazines with all these fantastic things that we want to be, do, and have. And I was flipping through one of these House Beautiful magazines, and I realized that what is conspicuously missing is there's nothing on any surfaces. Look, you'll notice that.
Oh, yeah.
You know how when you go to a hotel and you just exhale because you feel good when you walk in? It's because there's nothing on surfaces. Like we go home and the surfaces look like this.
Yeah,
But when you go to a hotel, it's serene. It looks like this. So that's one thing. Another thing is always put things back after you take them out. Don't leave them here just for now. I was at somebody's house and she had a small Miami house, just not a big deal house. And she had gardening tools at the front door and gardening tools at the back door. And I said, why? And she said, well, because when I want to work on my whatever plants are in the front, I need the shovel, the little gardening shovel and stuff in by the front. It's quicker. I just grab it and go out. And if I'm going to work on my garden in the back, I just grab it and go out. And I said, look, you're not in a 5,000 square foot home where things have to be that convenient. Create a location for your tools and go get them, and your house will look neat. And that's, I was reading that also.
Look, yeah, let's go ahead and read it. Because if you can come back to that thought. My teenage daughter, all the time, I tell my teenage daughter all the time, when you get up from wherever you are sitting, please turn around and look behind you and around you. That goes to your point that you were talking about the car, right?
That's right. That's right.
So yeah, carry on with that thought.
Okay, yes. So you want to put things where you can find them in a place that makes sense to you.
Mm.
When you need them, go get them
Hmm.
and bring them back. I see people with, I say 20,000 pens on their desk. Clearly, they're not 20,000. But, how many pens do you need? Which reminds me, number three, ask yourself, how many of these do I need?
Ah, yeah.
Right? Because I had a client once, as we were going around. Well, the first thing we did was we established what the function was of each room. And so we came up with one room was her home office. And so we decided that everything that had to do with home office would go in the home office, and then we would organize the home office. And that's what you want to do. You want to sort things into the right room or area, and then you go into that room or area and organize it. And
Mm.
that's what the book 5 Days to a Clutter-Free House really kind of explains.
Oh, okay.
So we discovered, after going all over her house and putting things in the right rooms, that she had 13 staplers. I don't care how much stapling you do. You don't need 13 staplers. You need a
Right,
stack for
right.
that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so we came up with criteria to weed them out.
Okay.
But think about, how many do you need?
That's true.
And then keep the best ones and
Yeah.
let go of the overage.
Okay.
When you're starting and you don't know what to do or you don't know how to start, there are two questions to ask yourself.
Uh-huh.
Either, what bothers me the most,
Uh-huh.
or what would make me feel the best if it were
Yeah.
done?
Yeah.
Either one. And that will get you to the answer of, where do I begin?
Right.
And you can begin by drawing a schematic. You could begin with a list. Some people prefer that. Depends on if you're right brained or left brained. But most of the people who need me happen to be right brained. And right brained people like, artistic, artsy things. And so
Oh.
we will draw a schematic. A schematic is just a simple rectangle that represents your house,
Uh-huh.
and then the little rectangle in between that represents each room.
Room. Okay.
And then you decide, what is the function of each room. For example, the function of my living room is to greet guests. The function of my closet in my master bedroom is for my clothes and my shoes and, stuff
Uh-huh.
like that.
Uh-huh.
The function of my dining room used to be only to eat, but since my son came back for a while, I gave him my office. So now it has become my desk. That's its
Uh-huh.
function right now.
Okay.
So you make a decision about the function of each room,
Mhm.
and then the things that belong in that room go in that room. But the key is, the things that don't belong in that room
Uh-huh.
leave and go where they belong. And
Right.
so that's it. How many was that? Was that five, or do you need another one?
I think you probably already hit five or more, which is great. um, I liked when you talked about sort of getting started, and you mentioned two things about getting started. Could you just go over those one more time for me?
Yes. What makes you feel what makes you feel bad? Like, what makes you
Yeah.
feel the worst? Or what would make you feel the best if it were done?
So getting started. What would what was the first one again, please?
What makes you feel the worst?
Okay. What makes you feel the worst?
Hmm.
And the
Or
second part was
what would make you feel the best if it were done?
okay. Make.
So sometimes people will come to me and they'll say, Marsha, it's so bad I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
And if I say, well, what makes you feel the worst? They might say, I'm embarrassed when comes in the front door, or I feel bad because, when my kids come home, there's nowhere for them to do homework, or my kitchen, whatever bothers you the most. Or I say, what bothers you the most? That's what I say. What
Mhm.
bothers you the most? Or what would make you feel the best if it were done?
Mm.
Or sometimes they'll say, well, everything bothers me. And then I'll say, well, what would make you feel the best? Well, I would feel the best if my bedroom was cleaned up, because then
Right. You can
I could
start
relax
there.
in my bedroom. And
And I like
and
I like what you also said about putting in the room what's supposed to be in that room. So
yeah,
once it's in the room, then you can start placing it wherever it's supposed to be placed in the room.
that's
So
right.
it sounds as if, I mean, of course, it's a progression, because if you have a cluttered entire house,
Right.
it's going to be totally overwhelming for most people. How do I get started? Where do I get started?
That's right.
But obviously, you've got to take it a piece at a time.
Right.
So I like the fact that you say what's going to make you, or what's making you feel the worst, or what can make you feel the best if it's done.
That's right.
Yeah, that's amazing. And taking it a room at a time, a step at a time.
That's right.
Uh, what has been, if you can say this, one of your biggest challenges in organizing somebody's world, their life, their garage, whatever the situation is?
Okay. Organizing is not about the stuff. It's about the person.
Mm-hmm.
So when I walk in, I don't even pay attention to the stuff. I don't even really notice it. It doesn't affect me
Mm,
because what I deal with is how do you feel?
mm,
Organizing is about how you feel. It's not about how things look.
okay.
If I've been to places where I walked in and the house was a disaster. You could not go from one room to the next. And the person thought it was funny. And I've been places where, and then the next day I'll go someplace and there's, I say 5 sheets of paper on the desk, but that may be an exaggeration. Maybe they have 3 little piles, right? And they're, oh, so frustrated. Can't you see why I'm here? And I've thought, you should have been where I was yesterday, but they weren't. And so it's not about the stuff. It's about
Yeah,
how you feel.
yeah.
So, in terms of a challenge, for me, the challenge is never the stuff. You could have wall to wall clutter with rooms you literally cannot enter. We have literally done that. As long as you work alongside me, and as long as you work alongside me, we're good. But when people start whining, it makes me tired. Or when people start making excuses, it makes me tired because the excuses are irrelevant. I'm here to work. Let's work. You know, I'm here to help you get this done. Let's get it done. I, why it happened when you were 7 years old and your father broke your piggy bank,
Right.
not the issue.
So yeah, I wanted to actually address that, because you say it's not necessarily about the stuff; it's more so about them. Now, a lot of times, because I've watched those clean house
Hoarding,
shows, I'm kind of addicted to those type of shows
right?
myself, to be honest with you.
Right?
But and it's usually some kind of deep psychological issue, or a recent loss. It seems as if loss has a lot to do with people uh, getting into clutter and hoarding and so forth. Maybe I'm going a bit too far with the hoarding, but do
Okay.
I'm sure that you have to deal with hoarding too, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I teach organizers, I teach that the people who come to us come either for a physical reason, a spiritual reason, or a psychological reason. Here's what I mean.
Right. Right.
A physical or situational, I'm sorry, not spiritual. So, for example, a brand new baby, the loss of a marriage, a hurricane, those are things outside of you.
Yeah.
Those things can create clutter. They can create a problem, and once you get it fixed, you're okay.
Uh-huh.
But like for example, if you have a flood,
Uh-huh.
you can have a lot of emotional trauma as it relates to that. But once you get past it, you're okay.
Right.
Sometimes the reason is a life change situation.
Mm-hmm.
You get a divorce, you feel really bad, you're
Mm-hmm.
upset, you're depressed, depression, frustration, that kind of thing. And then the other reason has to do with a condition like ADHD,
Ah.
hoarding, and any kind of addiction.
Yeah.
Like hoarding is a legitimate addiction. Sometimes people will call me and they'll say, I'm a hoarder, but they're not.
Yeah.
What they mean is, I have a lot of stuff and I don't know how to go through it.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes people who are legitimately hoarders will
Oops,
call
hold on.
me.
One. Sorry about that. Hold
Okay.
on. I'm sorry. I hit the wrong button here. Go ahead.
Okay.
Continue.
No problem. Sometimes people who are legitimate hoarders will call and they've not identified themselves as hoarders. So hoarding is to clutter like one glass of wine is to alcoholism. It's a
Mm,
different world.
mhm,
Sometimes people who are hoarders will get physically ill at having to make a decision about
mm.
if they want something or not.
Have you worked with many hoarders?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now, how do you handle that when people do get physically ill, or they can't stand, they have the major problems in trying to in getting rid of something?
My technique is to ask, not tell. Here's what I mean.
Okay.
When I walk into your home or your office or into your area to do your papers, I can't tell you what you need and what you don't need.
Mm,
I will never, ever, ever tell anyone to throw their things away,
mm,
ever,
okay.
because I can't make that decision.
Mm.
So, but if I come to you and I say, you don't need this, you don't need that, well, that's going to trigger emotion.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But if I come to you and I say, how many of these do you need? That doesn't trigger an emotion. You're either going to give me a number or say, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Or, you
Uh-huh.
know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Or if I say, if everything were perfect, how would this room be?
Ah,
See, then you're
yeah,
describing how the room would be.
yeah.
And then I just have to remember what your goal is. Like when I would go to clients, I would say, what do you want to accomplish with me today?
Uh-huh.
See, that's non threatening.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
that's the
yeah.
way I approach it. And that's what I taught my organizers
Okay.
because we're not there to tell people how to live. We're there to help people to live the way they want to live in their space.
Okay. Now, have you ever worked with a client and they, let's say, did not do the work, and you've had to, let's say, sever the relationship? Never.
Never, because remember, I started out with the problem. So I say I was my nightmare client. So I would tell my clients to do something, they would do it. I would tell myself to do the same thing and I wouldn't do it. Like I was on a program earlier today and I said, I I have a name for procrastination. It's
Uh-huh.
I don't want to do it itis. I have a bad case of that. There are things I need to do. I just don't want to do it. So I
Yes.
don't. So no, I don't judge people.
Okay.
What
Okay.
I would do is we would work all day until my client got too tired to work. I never get tired, but they would
Uh,
get tired.
wow.
And then I would tell them I'd give them their homework.
Okay.
But if they didn't do it, if I came back in a week or whenever they wanted me to come back and the homework hadn't been done, then that's where we would start.
Oh, okay. All right.
But what I do now within my online classes is I tell you what to do and you go do it. And then I pull the next person up and then I tell them what to do and they go do it while I pull the next person up. And in about 20 minutes, I call you back and I say, did you do it? How can you say no? You can't. I mean, it's, I
That's
just,
a really cool strategy. You're waiting for them to complete it, and also because there are other people in the group,
that's right.
there's a little bit of healthy competition there, maybe.
Absolutely.
That's
And when somebody cleans up an area and everybody says, oh, you did such a good job, you've inspired me.
yeah,
You don't want to be the one person who
right.
doesn't inspire anyone. So,
Yeah, that's awesome, awesome.
yeah,
We're gonna try to get some questions in here. Um,
wonderful.
I want you guys to know who Marsha Sims is. Marsha is also an international speaker. Marsha has spoken to business groups in the US and abroad at international conferences, national, community, and civic organizations. Marsha has been interviewed extensively in the media and has been featured in national magazines, including Women's Day, Best Better Homes and Gardens, Women's World, South Costa, sorry, Costco magazine, and Family Circle newspapers, including Miami Herald, The Sun, Sentinel, Palm Beach Post, Times, and many, many others. She's been on television, NBC, CBS stations. Marsha Marsha's online newsletter reaches audiences worldwide, as far as away as France, Australia, Germany, Canada, and New Zealand. Let's just say Marsha is an expert in her field. She knows everything about organizing, and she has the temperament for it, as we can see. Here's a question. I have I have this thing with notebooks. Notebooks. What's the best way to keep from hoarding them? Is there a better way to organize them for each project? Subject, sorry.
Okay, that is a wonderful question.
Thank you, Janet.
Yes, thank you, Janet. That is a wonderful question because when we have notebooks, it's so tempting to get another one and another one and another one. And then, of course, we have a notebook for every subject. And then they're not organized. The best way is to have one notebook that's chronological by date, by page number, by whatever that you keep your notes in. And then in the front, keep a list of what's there so you can find it. I learned this using of the philosophy with this person who invented a bullet journal. And if you've never seen that, just go look online at thebulletjournal.com or bulletjournal.com. And he has a fantastic way of keeping track of every single thing in one notebook at a time because you keep an index at the front. If you need to separate your notebooks, then the best way is to keep file folders. Hanging file folders are better. And just label the hanging file folder and put your notebooks in the hanging file folder. So then you can retrieve them if you can find them, like if you're doing it for school or something. But if it's just for yourself, just use one.
Mm.
Sometimes I use notebooks. Some years I use planners. A planner is like a big notebook that you can keep chronologically. And just the key is to create an index.
Awesome. Thank you for that. We have another question. Marsha from Lawanda Bradford. Thank you, Lawanda. Marsha, what are your thoughts about Marie Kondo's Japanese art of organizing and decluttering and her method of thanking and releasing those things that no longer serve you?
I am so excited about Marie Kondo's work because she spread the idea of organizing everywhere, worldwide. She did a great job with that. And I love how she says to ask, does it spark joy?
Mm.
Because organizing is all about how you feel. If you feel good, you're fine. If you're not feeling good, then we want to get you to where you feel good. What I say as a joke is my clients can't do Marie Kondo's art yet because, Marie says you go to your closet, you take everything out of your closet, you decide what sparks joy and you put it back. My clients can't get to their closet. So they come to me first and I get them ready to do Marie's philosophy. Some of what Marie suggests, I don't really think is what I do, like the way you fold up all your stuff. I don't personally need all that. For people who like it, it's great. But what I do is I go in where there's a problem and I help people to dig out of the problem. Marie starts with where things are okay, just not the way you want them, maybe, and get and improve them. So really, whether or not her philosophy works really depends on where you're starting. What Marie recommends would never work with a hoarder or a
Oh,
person who's chronically disorganized. It will
right.
work, or somebody who can't go from one room to another, or who never can find anything. Her philosophy works when things are okay and you want to improve.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm
And
not
then,
familiar with that organizer, but I'll definitely check that out.
yeah.
Um, so um, This has been this has really been good. And I just want people to know how we met. We met through the Toastmaster organization. So
Yes, we did.
Marsha is a Toastmaster. I am a Toastmaster. And for those who don't know what Toastmaster is, it's an organization that helps you with public speaking, leadership, mentorship. What else? Is that it?
That's pretty much it. What I like to say is that Toastmasters helps you with public speaking. And I met a guy maybe 30 years ago in Toastmasters who said, I have a lot to say and I want to learn how to say it well.
Oh,
And to me, that summed up Toastmasters.
that's good. That's
You know,
good. Say that again. Say that again.
he said, I have a lot to say and I want to be able to say it well.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, Marsha is an active Toastmaster and has earned the coveted DTM, which stands for Distinguished Toastmaster designation. She is a member of the Florida Speakers Organization. Sorry, she is a member of the Florida Speakers Association, a graduate of Florida A&M University, and is the proud mother of three adult sons, as she mentioned before. Well, when you first started, they were little bitty ones, weren't they?
Yes, they were. Yes, yes, they were.
And Marsha's idea of fun is helping people who've lost hope of being organized regain the control over their lives they feel they've lost. And you really do add value to people's lives by keeping organized.
Yeah.
Because when you're disorganized, it's not just about the things, but your mind can be disorganized. Your
Absolutely.
mind can be at odds. You don't feel peace. I don't know how people can sleep if they have stuff all over the place.
Yeah.
It's like you kind of block it out a little bit, right? And sometimes people don't even see the clutter.
Right. It's called clutter blindness. My co-author
Oh,
coined it. It's called clutter
oh,
blindness. You go through every day, you do what you do, you just don't see it. And yeah, we think we're ignoring it, but we're not. It kind of has a way of riding in your subconscious, and you don't even realize it. And you don't realize it until it's gone, and you feel the sense of,
I could breathe again.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
at first, I never really realized how important what I did was. It was just fun.
Uh,
And I got immediate gratification.
uh,
Like at the end of the day, some days I can remember, I would say, can I walk back through and look at what we did? And
oh,
because it was so bad. And now it is so good. It was amazing. And and I would feel good every day. And now my students tell me how much I've helped them and
oh,
how much of a difference it makes. And now I can hear them. When you're young and people give you a compliment, you just kind of bounce it off and keep moving.
uh, uh,
But now I kind of am starting to appreciate the fact that this really is helpful and it really is good for people. And I'm grateful that it found me as a
do, do
professional.
you do you believe this is your calling? This is your destiny? What you're supposed to do in life?
Yeah, now I do. It
Yeah.
took a long time. For the first 20 years in my business, I was just doing something until I could figure out what I wanted to do. And
Okay.
then I figured it out. This is it. At the end of my classes, I'm humbled. People say thank you to me. They're paying me and they say thank you. Really, it's very humbling and I'm
Yeah.
so grateful that I found something that is so
People
me.
need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
sister says, you were always bossy. Now you found a business where you can be bossy and people like you.
We
And
have
they
we
were
have
very silly.
we have another question from Janet. What is the best way to keep bills so they won't look or feel overwhelming?
Janet, I love that question because when I created my bill paying system,
Ooh. Ooh.
I had bills, I could never keep track of it. So this is what I have. I'll show you. I keep every month on a sheet of paper. Wait, you can't really. Can you see that?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Let me
This is
give you a
an
full
entire
screen.
month.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
this is
try to
an
just
entire.
1 second. There we go. Full screen
Okay,
for
this is
you.
an entire. I'm going backwards here. Month of bills. This is every bill.
Uh-huh.
This is the account number, and this
Oh.
is where the confirmation number goes when I pay it. So at the end of the month, I get out the next sheet, and I have my entire year in a 3-ring binder on 12 sheets of paper. If I
Oh.
if I get a bill that doesn't look right, I can just flip to the previous month. I know what the bill was,
Wow.
when I paid it, what the confirmation number is that it's paid. Or if I forgot to pay it, which doesn't happen anymore, but it used to because I was like way overwhelmed, I could look back and I could say, oh, I forgot to pay that. And then I know I legitimately owe it. So it is the most calming thing. So here's what you do. The first thing you do is you just every month you put all your bills in the same place. Don't let them get scattered. You can let your mail get in a pile. I don't recommend it, but mail's mail. Bills are can be important.
Mm, mhm.
Find a place. I used to use a napkin holder. And just when the bills would come in, I'd
Mhm.
stick them in the napkin holder until I had the money to pay them. And, like some people get paid on a regular basis. I didn't. So I never knew when I was going to have money. So my bills had to sit there until I had the money. And then I would decide which bill I was going to pay. So the way it started was I had an index card that said first and another index card that said 15th. And I would write the bills down and I'd check them off. And then I turned it into a sheet of paper and then I moved it to online. If you would like, I can make that available for your audience if you would like.
That would be amazing. Yes,
Okay.
we absolutely are an audience that like to take action.
Okay.
So we would appreciate that. If you have anything that's for free, we're going to take it. I also know, I also am subscribed to your email, your daily email. It comes out at midnight every day.
Yes, it does.
So if anybody wants to sign up for your email address, which comes, like I said, every single day. Let me just put up your slide again. The email is Marsha Sims at sortitout.net. Is that the best thing to do, or to go to the website and subscribe like that? What's the best way?
The best way is probably to go to the website, but the people in your audience are welcome to email me or call me, and I will walk them through it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, the daily thing is really, really nice. People tell me they love it. I get feedback. Sometimes I get corrections. Marsha, you spelled this word wrong. And that's fine. That's fine. That means they read it. So I'm happy about that. And it, it's a good, what it's designed to do is to remind you to do some organizing today. You can do
Yes.
this, or you can do whatever you need to do,
Uh-huh. Do
but do
something.
something.
And it always does remind me every time I see it's like a little, it's like your auntie saying, "Come on, do something,
Yes, yes.
girl." But yeah, this is just so amazing. But let me just put the website again. It's uh, sortitout.net. The website is sortitout.net, and there's a telephone number 305 467 8564. I believe there was another question. Let me just go back through. Marcia Demers, welcome, Marcia. Dr. Marcia is here. I like that question, Janet. The junk mail does get away from me during the week. Then before I know it, I'm sitting for an hour going through stuff. Yeah.
So
Um,
here,
go-
here's a tip for your audience. Write down the letters FAST, fast. And here's how you divide up your mail when it comes in. F means you're going to file it away for future reference. Things that you just want to file, things that you may need to look at again. For example, an insurance policy. Hopefully, you will never ever need your insurance policy. But if you need it, you need to be able to go right to it. Those are the things that go in the F category. You're going to file them. The second one is A for action. Those are the things that you actually need to do.
Mhm.
S is for shred, the things that have your personal information on them that you want to shred. Shredding is overrated, but some things do need to be shredded. And then T stands for trash. A lot of it's trash.
Mhm.
But make a decision. Remember, clutter is postponed decisions.
Mm.
Make a decision and either put it in F, A, S, or T. And then you go in reverse order, throw away the trash, make arrangements to shred, set up your action folders so you don't forget what you need to do, and file the papers that need to be filed.
Wonderful. We're getting some good sauce here, people. I hope you're enjoying this free teaching. You know that on MJ Live, we try to give you something that you can use. And this is definitely one of them. If you've never had anybody who's a professional organizer before, and we have the best, the best of the best here. This is Marsha Sims, everybody. Again, her contact information is Marsha Sims at sortitout.net, and the website is sortitout.net. Telephone number 305-467-8564. Before I let you go, could you just tell us about your programs that you have available right now that people can either join or learn about?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for asking. Yes, I have three programs right now that are running. We suspended the certification program because of COVID, so we're not going to bring them because people don't want to go in homes and people don't want people in their homes, so we stopped that for right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a program that runs automatically. It's a do it on your own time schedule program. Very inexpensive. It's only $37 a month. And we take you through organizing your entire home and organizing why you got like this, how you got like this at a very affordable price. The next class is the filing boot camp. It started out being a filing class where I taught you how to do everything. But then what I noticed is that some people never did their homework. They would come to class and they had every reason. The cat ate my paper. My son walked into town. you know, every reason. And so I continued the filing class as a boot camp. And every Friday we get together and do papers. Mostly I talk for a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes. Then you have 20 minutes to work. We take a water break for 5 minutes. You can ask any questions you want. Then we actually do the work. If you know what to do and you find that you are absolutely not doing it, can't make yourself do it, think about that program. And that one's also not expensive. It's $20 a week. The other program that I have is a much more pricey. It is a comprehensive, you can organize anything in that program. If you are a hoarder and you can't get from one room to the next, and we have a few hoarders in there, you can get your house done. One lady who's in that program just said when she started my program, she had 30 boxes of papers. She's down to the last box.
Wow.
And she keeps telling that story, and everybody gets inspired. And so now
Yeah.
I'm telling the story because it's very inspirational. That's a lot of paper.
In what space of time?
Well, it's taken her about a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But
And,
yeah,
and yeah,
it's a
and
lot though.
yeah, that program's a lot more expensive, but in the world of getting an organizer, it's a lot less expensive than having an organizer come to your home. So,
Hmm.
it's relative. I can do that because I have 6 or 7 people in a class.
Mm.
That class meets once, twice, or 3 times a week, depending on which one you want.
Mm.
And you can, and with that program, I'm completely available at any minute. So you
Oh,
can call me at
wow.
3 o'clock in the afternoon on a random day and say, I feel like filing, or I forgot everything you told me, which is more likely what people say. And then, and then I'll just say it again because I say the same thing over and over and over again.
Uh-huh.
So there you go.
Very good. So you have various programs that people can join, depending on the level of need, so they can get themselves organized.
Yes.
Well, I think that we've pretty much covered everything. Have I forgotten anything at all, Marsha?
I don't think so. If anybody has a question, well, if anybody has a question for me that they forgot to ask or were too shy to ask, call me. I answer my own.
She answers her own phone. Welcome, Corinne. Nice to have you here. I have around 30 boxes of papers too. Corinne is she's a lawyer. I think she passed the bar not long ago, and I'm sure she has a lot of legal paperwork and so forth.
I
But
have two lawyers in my Friday boot camp, just so you won't feel alone, Lauren.
so you won't feel alone. So you guys, you have her contact information. Marsha Sims is the founder, the CEO, chief bottle washer, as they call it, of
Yes,
Sort It Out,
yes, that's right.
professional organizing service. Something that is not very, let's say,
Common.
common. So, we have the best here. Marsha Sims at sortitout.net, website sortitout.net, telephone number 305 467 8564. She has various programs, as she mentioned. And if you have a friend who you know could use this video, just please forward the video onto somebody afterwards so that they can get the information. Let me just see if we have any more questions here. Janet says, I am happy for her, although I don't know her. It must be liberating for her, the one who got down to one box. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Richard Adams is here. He is the founder of MSE Network, and we're also connected to that website today as well. Great interview, MJ. Love the information. Definitely helpful. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Rich. And awesome. Congratulations, Lauren. Yes, absolutely. All right. So, Marsha, again, everybody, this is Marsha Sims, professional organizer for over 25 years, bags of experience. She's the best in South Florida. If you want to get hold of her one more time, get hold of her by going to her website or her telephone number or her email. All right. I want to thank you so much, Marsha Sims, for being available today to talk to us. I know that we have the best here. So it really means a lot to me. And I think everybody in the chat room would agree that we've gotten some valuable information today. Please show us some love, everybody in the chat room. And Marsha, I want to thank you once more, and I will talk to you soon.
Yes, you will. Thank you so much. This was delightful. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into MJ Live. We're at the top of the hour. It's 9 o'clock, and we're actually going to end here. We've had a fantastic interview with Marsha, so we're going to end it right here. Tune in next week where we're going to have another special guest and possibly some more music. But for now, I want to bid you all good night. Thank you so much, each and every one of you, for your participation in the chat room. Again, share the video to your friends and your contacts. I think that many people would enjoy this information. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Bye for now.